Hi, welcome to another Creative Violin Live. And yes, we are live. And if you want to let me know that you're there, place something in the comments section and then I'll know you'll be here on my Facebook page, Facebook group, or on YouTube. And what are we gonna do today? We're gonna do a bowing technique. And why am I putting so much focus to bowing techniques? Because the thing we always learn is the left hand, right? That's true. But if you want to be really, if you want to sound good, if you want to sound great, then at least even the same amount of attention should go to the right hand, to the bow, right? Okay. So you can be virtuoso left, but if your bowing technique is not good, you're not going to sound good. So that's why I emphasize practice with all the bowing techniques available. And today we're going to discuss détaché. And détaché, that is the most common bowing technique of all. That's the first you're going to learn, but maybe it's also the most important one. And it's not an easy one. If we do a small détaché, that could be easy. But if we're going to do a long détaché, the whole bow, that's a lot more difficult. And let me tell you why. There are 5 ingredients to have to have good détaché. 5 ingredients. I told you in this description, right? And I'm gonna reveal them all to you. So are you ready? This is a workshop, so you should be joining me. Do you have your violin ready? Let me know that in the chat. Let me know that if you have your violin ready. I see someone already from Facebook, and I'm on Facebook and YouTube live. That's so Daxander, that's someone from Holland, and I cannot see the name. Sorry for that. That's not in my program. Okay, so you've got your violin ready, and I want you to work with me. Let's do this together, all right? Okay. We're going to start with the first ingredient, that is straight bowing. Straight bowing. Now, what do I mean with straight bowing? You can see in the picture, in the small little frame, you can see straight bowing. What I mean is we don't want an angle like that, because that, I'm going to let you hear how it sounds, show you how it sounds. We don't want that, right? Now this is why we need the bow. We really need a good bowing. Doing exactly the same here. And now with the straight bowing, you're going to have a great tone. Okay? Now, straight bowing, that will say we do not want an angle between the bow and the bridge. Okay? So we want them to be parallel like that. Okay, now let me show you how that is going to work. Because with the right arm we have 3 points we have to look at: the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. First of all, let's see what the shoulder is going to do. And this is by pulling the upper arm. This is the upper arm, pulling it back and forth. Okay, we're going to do that, but not all the way. Look, I'm going to turn myself so you can see if I'm going to play in an angle or not. You can see the upper arm movement. Okay? Now, let me do that first, and we're going to practice that afterwards. So don't play with me, just look and see what happens. The first part is from the frog until the center of the bow. Now this is where the upper arm has to work. Right until there. See? So it goes back a little bit. All right. Now, from the center of the bow to the tip, the upper arm stays still right where it is. Don't move the upper arm anymore, just the lower arm. And the feeling is that you're bowing away from you. Look. See? I'm looking at myself there. So it's a bit difficult to correct from a mirror view, but you can see here, if I'm looking here where the bow hits the string, this is where I'm looking, so I can exactly see if I'm making this angle with the bridge or not. So just look here while you do it. Okay, but you can see the upper arm until there, without the upper arm, and now backwards, exactly the same thing, until the middle, and now the upper arm is going to move back again. That's the upper arm part. All right, well, the elbow, we're going to use that a little bit later. We're going to deal with that later. That has to do with this angle later on. Be patient. Okay. Other thing is oh no, I wanted to show you what happens if you use the upper arm all the way. So from here to here, I said it's okay, wonderful, well done. But from here to the tip, if you still pull back the upper arm, this is gonna happen, see? Now, this is what I see a lot, believe it or not. Not to this extent, but when I see small notes, small détaché here in the middle, should be like that, and what I see, that we're rowing the boat. We're not going to row the boat, we're playing violin. So from the middle part, if we're going to do a small détaché, we're going to practice that in a moment. But you see, the upper arm is still, and there we got. So we don't go that way because this didn't sound right. Right, all right, okay. Now let's do that together. Put the bow at the front position. Let's do the A or the D string. But yeah, let me do the D string for now because you can see the whole bow movement maybe a little bit better. Okay, we're going to talk about the wrist after this one. Okay, let's pull the bow towards the center part. Are you with me? Let's go. And if you looked at your upper arm, you could maybe have seen the movement. You can see that in the mirror, or I'm seeing that on my screen. All right, now from this part, this is the important thing, the important part. From the middle part to the tip, we're gonna push the bow away from us. That's how it feels. Do that, and see that the upper arm is still on the same place, doesn't move. There we go. See? Okay. And back. Let's do back. From the tip. And then, now we're going to take the upper arm back again. Okay, but I lift out the wrist. If nothing happens with the wrist, we're going to get this. The wrist is going to be in this position at the tip, and in that position at the frog, this. Now, if you would paint a wall, your brush would go like that, up, and then if you go down, goes like that. Can you see that? Up, and this, I cannot paint walls, but I know this. This is what I know, right? Because I'm a violinist. So, you don't paint walls like that, or like that, right? Like that. And this is going to be sort of what I call the octopus movement. Flexibility there. And this is going to give you a perfect détaché. There we go. Let's practice that. So what happens with the wrist? The wrist comes up as well, like that. And so the bow is sort of hanging in my hand, right? Okay. You've got the fingers over the bow like that, round thumb, round pinky. If one of the fingers, the pinky or the thumb, is straight, and also see that quite a lot, it's going to block all the flexibility. This is going to give you the flexibility you need, right? The octopus, there we go. Now, if we go from the center part, do it with me, and then we're going to work with the wrist. We're going to lift it up a little bit, and the elbow goes with it. Actually, the whole upper arm. Mind you, not the shoulder. The shoulder stays. Don't pick up the shoulder like that, right? Too much movement. There. And now you can see, let me just go back to here. Now you can see I'm still in the correct angle. Can you see that? And my wrist, look what your wrist does. If I'm going to keep a straight wrist, let me give you this one. There, see? If I'm doing nothing with the wrist, it's going to move that way. All right. So, look what happens if I turn the wrist, you see the bow coming into position, parallel to the bridge. Can you see that? That's it. So here we have the wrist like that, and there we're going to have the wrist like that. So we're going to keep a straight bow all the way. Now you can see that. Okay, now what I want you to do, I see Jolie Curry. Hi Joe, how you doing? And Los Angeles is here. All right, great. So work with me here. So we're going to start at the frog position, and we're going to end at the tip position. And well, I mentioned the shoulder, the elbow, wrist, everything, but that's too much to look after. You can't check them all and even know that this is correct. But I'm going to make it really easy for you. If you look at the point where the bow touches the string, right here, got it? This is where I'm looking. This is where my eye is. And you can see everything. So if the bow is going to be straight all the way, then I have a perfect right arm. See? So this is what I call, sorry for that, there we go, a straight bowing. This is a straight bowing, right? Straight means parallel to the bridge. So one more time, are you with me? Let's go. One, and all the way. One more time. Okay, so you see that you're not pulling your upper arm backwards, because then the bow does that. See? Okay, wonderful. Right, that was the first ingredient. Now we need more ingredients. The second one is a consistent bow weight. What does that mean? Well, the bow weight on the string is different at the frog position as it would be at the tip position. Logic, right? Because here you have the weight of the bow. If I'm doing nothing, no, I'm not putting any tension on the bow. If I do the same exactly here, right? Because here it's very light, and the weight of your arm also leans on the string. Now, we need to have the same weight on the string, the same pressure on the string all the way. So, from the frog to the tip. How do we do that? Well, there are 3 points that are really important for the bow. That's the index finger, the pinky, and the thumb. Okay, the pinky can, let me shut that off, because, there we go. So with that, the pinky can hold the bow, and you can pick it up a little bit. Hold the bow like that, and the index finger is going to apply pressure. And how am I going to do that? If I just take all the fingers off, and I'm going to just turn my left hand a little bit like that, then the index finger is going to push it down, and the thumb is pushing up, and that's going to cause the violin to the bow to add pressure on it. That's it, right? You can turn the hand a little bit. And the other 2 fingers are going to stabilize this movement. Okay, well, the consistent bow weight, let's try that. So at the frog position, we're going to pick up the bow a little bit. We're going to lift the bow a little bit, take out some of its weight. And I can play really lightly, because the bow is sort of hanging in my hand like a crane. Zzz, 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 like a crane. I can play as light as I want. Are you doing that? Okay, play really light at the frog. And on the other hand, at the tip position, it's light already. And if I'm going to add, with the index finger, add some pressure, I can put a lot of weight here. Okay, got it? Okay, now, it's a nice game to play with people at home. To have them close their eyes, turn around, and you're going to play a long bow stroke. And they have to guess if you're at the frog position or at the tip position. Now, what can you do? Obviously, if I'm gonna just let the weight take its course, then here it's gonna sound heavy, and at the tip it's gonna sound light. And I'm going back to heavy again. So obviously you can hear, you're at the frog position, but you can fool them as well. I'm gonna play really light here and add pressure at the tip. Try that with me. So light, we're gonna start out light, and gradually we're gonna add pressure. Like that. And now they say, you're easy, you're at the tip. Well, open your eyes. I was at the frog. And then you're doing it right. Well, doing it right would say consistent bow weight. That's what we were doing, because I've added much more pressure and the sound was much louder here than it was at the frog position, just to make my point. But if you have a great détaché, a good détaché will say it's going to be equally sounding at the frog as at the tip. Let's try that. I'm going to give you the example. So the same bow weight at the tip and at the frog. How are you doing on that one? Is that going well? Okay. Yes, détaché for whole notes, but also I get this in the comments for these were the whole notes, of course, the longer notes, but you can also have them for short notes. That's a détaché as well, but with eighth notes and okay. Well, we call that, yeah, what bow's stroke is used for the quarter notes, eighth notes. That's all détaché, but it's a short détaché and a longer détaché. The thing is that the détaché is just back and forth. It's going to be, well, consistent bow weight is going to be the same here as here. Got it? So at the center of the bow, and once again, don't row your boat like that. Keep the upper arm still, short. Okay, that's the bow weight, consistent bow weight. There's another ingredient there, the third ingredient, and that is a consistent sounding point. Okay, consistent sounding point, that has to do with, you can see in the right frame, you can see that is the distance from you have from the bridge, the small distance or a bigger distance. Now, the sounding point. Why is it called a sounding point? It sounds different when you play here than it would when you play here. Let me. It's going to sound, if I play exactly the same. Sounding point. You see, it sounds completely different. So if you play mild pieces, you're going to play that here. If you're going to play Pirates of the Caribbean, you're going to play that here. There, okay? That's it. Okay, so we need a consistent sounding point. So that means sounding point, if you're going to move the bow, if you're going to decide what tone do you want. Now let's say sort of average one. And to have it consistent, we'll say it doesn't slip away. Because it's going to sound quite different. The one note is going to sound different. So we want to have the same sounding point, so that means the same distance from the bridge. Or that. All right? Okay. So, consistent sounding point. Let's try that. Once again, it's very difficult to watch everything with the right arm and if everything is right. But if you look at the point where the bow hits the string, you can see if you're moving away again. So once again, look here and you're going to be right. You can see if it's going to move. Keep it with very small adjustments. Keep it there. Okay, let's try that together. Are you ready? At the frog position, and watch the angle and the sound position. Keep them constant and keep your tone constant with the weight. There you go. How did that go? Is it good? Now this is going to give you that constant tone. You need this tone, you need this bowing, a straight bowing and everything to have a good tone. If you're going to slip away, you're going to slip, you're going to get that sort of sound. We want a firm, consistent sound. This is how you do it. Okay, that is the third ingredient, so consistent sounding point. Now we have another ingredient, and that is a consistent angle. What is the consistent angle? Well, let me show you that it has to do with this. If we're going to bow like that, you might touch other strings. So we want the angle to be consistent as well. So I'm just exaggerating a bit, just to make the point. So a little bit more. Now, how can you control that? By looking at where the bow touches the string. That's it. Look, you can see it. You can see it if it does that. Now we're gonna check a few things right away, okay? So we're gonna check if we're making this angle. We don't want that. We're gonna check if we want this angle. We can check that here. We can check also if we're moving away, a different sounding point. And we can listen to the bow weight. Okay, so see to it that this angle stays the same as well. Let's try that. Okay, are you at the frog position? Let's do this together. So look here and check all these points. How did that go? It's easy now, isn't it? You have to just look at one point and you can see everything you have to worry about. That is good. It's easy. And if you see something happening, small adjustments, and it's back in place again. How great is that? Easy, right? Okay. And yes, I've got a question here. I noticed that your bow is tilted forward. I have a reason for that because, well, look at here. If I tilt my bow forward, now I have all the hairs flat on the string. Can you see that? Yes. And if I tilt my bow forward, there's only going to be a few hairs on the string if I want to play light. Only a few. It's going to be much easier than a flat bow. It's going to be quicker scratching. So exactly the same. And if I'm going to apply some pressure on it, weight on it, then all the hairs are going to be on it, right? So, but look at my wrist as well. I wanted my wrist to go up a little bit. So if I tilt my bow forward a bit, my wrist comes up, and this is exactly what I want, because I told you, this is the wrist position at the tip. This is going to be the wrist position at the frog, and you can sort of lift the bow when you're going up and play extremely light, because I'm just lifting the bow. It's almost not touching the string. And because I want to play it really light, only a few hairs are going to touch the string, and I can play as light or as heavy as I want. So One other thing is obviously has to do with your tone, if it's going to scratch or squeak, the flageolets. That has to do with the combination of bowing speed and bow pressure. Now, if you have a lot of pressure and no bowing speed, it's going to sound like that, all right? If I'm going to have a lot of pressure and my bowing speed is okay, it's never going to scratch. I'm really pressing the bow down here, but with a proper bowing speed, nothing happens. Just a very loud noise, loud tone. And make sure you go right away, puff. So don't sort of start up and go like that, but if you want to put pressure on it, just go bam. Now, if you want to play light and you have light bow pressure and a lot of bowing speed, it's gonna how do you say it? Flageolet. Now, if I'm gonna play very light, my bow stroke's got to be a lot slower to have a decent tone. To play long notes like that. See? And if I want some more tone, I'm gonna put more pressure and more bowing speed. Like that, okay? Now, this all has to do with a perfect détaché. But I left one out, didn't I? Let me see. I had consistent angle. So we had 4 ingredients, the straight bowing. Let me show you on this one. Straight bowing, so parallel to the bridge. We had consistent bow weight, and consistent sounding point. That's the distance between your bow and the bridge. And the consistent angle. There we go. One more to go. And now this is what makes a difference between a détaché and, for instance, portato or staccato. It's going to be smooth transitions. Now, the smooth transitions are going to be at the frog position and at the tip position with long bows. But it's going to be back and forth, the bow stroke. Let me show you. This one. There. And now we're going to need the flexibility a little bit here. So if you're going to paint your wool like that, or a bit like that, this is going to make the difference. Can you see it? There. It's the flexibility here. Now you're not going to get that right overnight. This is something you really have to practice. But you can practice that in the office as well. If you're working in the office, you have a pencil, I don't have a pencil here, do I? No, I don't, of course not. But just hold the pencil like you would your bow, and you can sort of practice your flexibility while you're at work. So, at the frog position, if it's going to be flexible. So the transitions should be really as if you're gluing the notes together. Instead of see? Okay. There are other bow strokes. I'm gonna deal with those later, like martelé. So you start off fiercely. That's martelé. So that's something completely different. So the détaché is known for the smooth transitions. As if you're playing one very long note. And also the faster détaché is exactly the same thing. It's not like that, but like that, okay? Now, has everything to do with the détaché. And now I'm gonna give you a little secret here. The system, how you're gonna practice this, because playing violin, you need a few, well, you need your right hand, you need your left hand, and you need the right mindset and everything, right posture. But let's just limit it to right and left. And we're going to work on the right hand. So I say, if you want to study the right hand, focus on the right hand, and only that. If you're going to play a song or a tune or everything while you're actually practicing détaché, I would say you're doing it wrong, because you're not paying enough attention, enough focus to the right hand, to the détaché, to the thing you're actually practicing. So we're going to separate it, right? Left hand, just put it there. You're not going to be used right now. Just on an open string, we're going to practice the détaché. And now, when we do this separately, you've got the full focus, the whole focus on that bow, on that bowing technique. And what you have to do then is you have to look that you're doing it right, and then, most of all, feel that you're doing it right, and hear that you're doing it right. Okay? What do I mean by that? If I can hear the difference, I'm not going to look. If I can hear the difference between, or I can know this is a lot further away from the bridge than this. Now, if I'm going to play a long bow and I hear this happening, I can hear it, I can also feel it, but I can hear it, then I need to make adjustments even without looking. I had to go there. So I can listen to what I'm doing and make corrections on what I'm hearing. And if it sounds consistent, then I've been doing a good job. Uh-oh, see, I'm going to the bridge. I can hear that. You could hear that as well, right? Okay, well, just to make my point there. And you can also feel if you're doing this or you're doing that. Now, what I told you, the sensation, what you're going to feel is that you're sort of pushing the bow away from you instead of pulling it backwards. That, right? That's the feeling. Now I can close my eyes, and if it's not exactly the right angle, if there's a little bit angle, that's okay, but not too much, right? So what we're going to do is, first we're going to look, okay? But this is temporarily. We're going to look if we're doing it well, and we're going to feel how it's like. Feel as you're looking, where's my right hand going to? I have to remember that feeling. So if I close my eyes, it's going to be the same feeling, and then you're right, okay? That's how we do it. Only the right hand. Now you see what I mean, right? We're practicing the right hand only. Okay, so small détaché here. Work with me. We're going over the center, so this part of the bow, okay? Okay, let's try that and make smooth transitions. And you can look. And now close the eyes and see if that sounds the same and feels the same. Okay, and so on. Now you can practice small détachés, fast ones. Slow ones, long ones. And it's worth all the time you're putting into it. It's worth it. And you have seen why now. Okay, are you with me? Now, the next step in the practicing is going to be, if this feels right. Let's say we're just practicing the short détaché, quarter notes for instance. Looking here, it's going right. Okay, close the eyes, still going right. Okay, if we nailed this, if we master this, then we're going to add the first distraction. There we go, the distraction. We're going to add a distraction. No emails, no Facebook, no what am I going to do on holidays, what am I going to cook tonight. No other distractions. The left hand distraction. We're still starting violin, right? Okay. Left hand is coming into place. So let me move a little bit there so you can see everything. So right angle, everything. Now, first of all, we're going to do 4 notes, 4 quarter notes, right? On an open string, and then 4 notes. We're going to add the first finger, the first distraction. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to open. 1, 0. And see to it. This is the first distraction. Well, this isn't too difficult, right? So you can have all the focus still on the right hand, while the first distraction is sort of trying to pull your attention away. That's it. Okay, now. 1, 2, 3. Play with me. 1 and 0. We're going to add 2 fingers, and is the bone still good? 2, 0. Check your bowing. 1, sorry, 2, 1, 2. How's the bowing going? 0, 4, 2. 3, 2. How's the bowing? Still watching it? Okay, this is how you do. These are the distractions. The better it goes, the more distraction you can put into it. But the focus, try to keep as much as focus as you can for the right hand. And try to not to pay too much attention to the distraction. Well, you can imagine if you're going to play a song, how big that distraction is going to be, because I think all your focus is going to be to the right notes, to the rhythmic, everything, the placement of the left fingers, and whoop, there goes all the attention to the bow. Unless you practice this separately, like this, okay? Then you can do it all. The last distraction obviously is going to be the song that you're playing. So maybe a piece by Bach. We're going to have the... And we're going to play the song. And I can still play all the notes and still keep enough focus on the bow, on the right bow, because now it's sort of part of my system. Just like driving a bicycle, riding a bicycle, you're not thinking about if I have to make that turn, to lean over a bit, the steering wheel a little bit to the left, and I need my speed, and you're not thinking about that, it just goes automatically. So if this goes automatically, then you can add the first distraction. The second distraction, that is 2 notes, or 1 note. And then after that, the song. See? All the attention to the bow. Okay. This is where I'm going to leave you off, and I hope to see you next time. I'm going to work on other bowing techniques also the legato. Yes, it's all going to be there. So tune in. If you are on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the bell button, and then you're going to be notified when the next workshop is going to be. And that can be a workshop about a certain technique, violin technique, like we did today. This could be like I'm going to break down a song for you, anything. And are you gonna, if you want to learn it all, if you want to learn the whole thing, everything that has to do with playing violin, then check the Creative Violin Beginners course. And that's going to be on the website, creativeviolin.com. If you want to be there, try it for 7 days. You can try it everything for free. And if it's for you, then I'm going to welcome you to the Creative Violin family. So this is part of it. This is just a little part of it. But the whole course, it's complete method online for you. It's all waiting there for you. So if you're interested, let me know if I can help you with anything. So on YouTube, subscribe, bell button, and in the Facebook page or group, be part of the group, and there you can share your own progress videos. If you're part of the family or not, I don't care. You're always going to get professional feedback on what you're doing. So you never have to do it alone anymore. Okay? Good. I'm going to see you next time. Thank you for showing up, and see you next time. Bye-bye.